We are awaiting the results of an FBI DNA test on gloves that could be linked to the suspect at Nancy Guthrie's front door. More on this breaking news next. Let's bring in former Arizona Supreme Court Judge Andrew Gould. Judge, welcome.
Thank you, Mike, for having me today.
What is your reaction to this headline? Does it make you hopeful, as it makes probably the rest of us?
It does. I mean, everybody wants Nancy Guthrie to be found safe and sound and as soon as possible. But also, we want the people that are responsible for this infernal crime to be held accountable and be brought to justice.
Absolutely right. So we're 2 weeks in, sir. Does it surprise you we're at this stage without an arrest? And do you feel like investigators may be close?
Well, it's hard to tell what the proper amount of time is for a case like this. I think more of my concerns have been with respect to Sheriff Nanos. I think he has made some mistakes in this case that have impeded the investigation. It is my opinion that he should step out of the way and let the FBI do its job. I think his deputies are doing a very fine job on the ground. But my concern is that the sheriff is becoming more of the story than trying to bring these people to justice and bring Nancy Guthrie home safe and sound.
The FBI has increased the reward to $100,000. We have a description, 5'9" to 5'10", average build. We know the backpack the suspect was carrying. Does all of that encourage you that we are getting closer to answers?
It does, and we're waiting for the DNA results from some of the gloves, which could identify the suspect. So I think there's a lot going on right now. I like to be optimistic and think that we're very close, but we have to keep in mind that not only must we find Nancy Guthrie, but we have to make sure that we can prosecute the people that have committed this crime.
Sure.
And I don't want to see mistakes made that can come up and impede the prosecution later on.
Nancy Guthrie's face has been everywhere over the past 2 weeks. Does that mean it's difficult for the suspect to move without being detected at this point?
Oh, no question about that, Mike. Between the cell phone searches, and they have some very detailed cell phone searches, they can detail every single movement. Most of us carry our cell phones around, and so they've got tons of data, eyes and ears of people everywhere. I also think they need to be conscious, and I'm sure they are, about the possibility of her being in Mexico. I'm not saying that she's in Mexico, but I wouldn't take anything off the table. But what you see here, and you see the activity that's going on, it's what the FBI can do. And although sheriff's departments are excellent at helping on the ground, the FBI specializes in this. And I think we should be very, very proud, at least, of what the agents on the ground are doing in this case. It makes me feel very proud and very optimistic.
Judge, do we all just need to be patient, hoping for answers, wanting her brought home, and obviously holding the suspect accountable? I mean, is it just going to take time?
Sometimes it does, Mike. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes these crimes take days or weeks or years. I'm hoping and I'm praying that's not the case. But it's difficult to find these people, and we've had some delays in terms of releasing the crime scene that have slowed down the effort. But I think people do need to be patient. I'm very encouraged by the efforts that have been going on. They've had a lot of people they've detained. We've had search warrants down by Rio Rico, down by the border, to as close as 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. I have great confidence in the U.S. attorney down here in Arizona, Tim Coltrane. I know him. I know he's been away from his family for a long time in the command center. I have the greatest confidence in him.
Judge, great to see you. Thanks very much for your time today.
Good to see you too, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.